Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a bit of a rant. So if you're not in the mood for that, go ahead and check out another video. But this is something that's been irking me for so long, y'all. And I think I did a video. I forgot the title. If I remember, I'll try to put it in. I think it was something like, I don't know that the words are verbatim, but it was something along the lines of how to decenter men and still enjoy being a woman and getting attention from them and stuff like that. But the thing that's like killing me, and I feel like when it comes to like not even just like EU, but like anyone who has the message of 4B or decentering men, people try to act like that means being a lesbian or being a misandrist or, you know, not having compassion for the men in our lives that are good people. And I feel like saying not all men is equivalent to saying all lives matter. When someone says Black lives matter, they are not implying that lives that are not Black do not matter. They are basically saying, hey, 9 times out of 10, we're treated like we don't. So this is why we're saying, hey, we do matter. And for you to come say, all lives matter. It's very disingenuous. And for you to come in and say, not all men, I'm never going to stop dating men. Oh, like trying to like shit on people who, are serious about decentering men. And I think I remember even a share who is so funny, but people basically asking her, like, how do you feel about decentering men? And she said, decenter men? Why would I do something like that? They pay my bills. Now, I remember wanting to like explain to her that decentering men does not mean they don't exist in your world. Like, that's just not how it works. That's not humanly possible. But decentering men literally means just taking them out of your center. And Exoticals United has done so many videos on this, so please go watch it because she has actual Venn diagrams where you can see for yourself if you're like a visual learner. But center means someone is like your core. And for a lot of women, having the knight in shining armor was your core. That was your core. That was your happily ever after. A lot of girls don't know what their happily ever after looks like without being a mother and a wife. And that's not everyone's destiny here in this world. Even if it is, you can still decenter men. Like when I think about like Disney princesses, and except for Ariel, but when I think about Disney princesses, they weren't like obsessed with boys. They had their own thing going on, but they were still able to have a destiny with a man and have a happily ever after without it being like you were born and bred just to be with him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So there's this thing where people like to like, make fun of the people that are taking decentering men seriously. And it's all about the Eve versus Lilith consciousness. I mentioned this in my last video. I used to think like Eve was someone who was like a good girl and a Lilith was someone who was like a bad girl. But at the end of the day, it's not about, visuals. And it's not about how you come off or the actions that you do. I forget the exact quote, but it's Robert Greene, and this is the guy from like The Laws of Power and The Power of Seduction. But he basically says, never judge an opponent by their intention, but by the power of their play. So if you buy me, a peanut butter cake because it's your favorite and it's the one your mother made you growing up before she passed away, that's a great, compliment from you to me. But if I'm allergic to peanut butter, I can die. So your intention does not trump what your actions have caused to me. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Eve Lilith consciousness, it's all about intention. So just because you're a rebel does not mean that you're a Lilith, because you could, at the end of the day, it's all about your soul and your moral compass and what really matters to you. And if you have the balls to say all lives matter or not all men, at the end of the day, you really don't care about the underdog. You don't care about helping people who need it the most. Therefore, if you're a woman, you're an Eve archetype, and you're never going to want to punish men 100%. And instead of, collaborating with your fellow woman, you always feel like, it's an issue. These are the type of girls that be back and forth with other women, but like won't call a man out unless it's so far gone where she kind of has to. She'll always protect him and give him the benefit of a doubt because she's projecting her uncle, her father, her brother, her son onto all men. Now, again, this isn't inherently negative. I think Eves exist to make the world go round. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like when it comes to women, and I think there was like another content creator who's like talking shit about this Spectre. I'm pretty sure you can guess who. But she went live and she was basically saying, she's never going to stop dating men and da-da-da-da. And, it's natural for women to want to date men, and I totally agree with that. But at the end of the day, ignoring the nature of someone that you have to coexist with is not the smartest thing for you to do. It's just not. I think about that movie, The Life of Pi, where the guy is like stuck in a boat with a tiger. In the first couple of days, he's like afraid, but he learns to like live with it. Now, I think that's kind of like how I see men. Like, they need to be tamed. And some of them are just too far gone. They're monsters and you can't deal with them. And some of them make good little pets if you train them to be good little boys. That's kind of how I see men. But that doesn't mean that they're not monsters. They're not capable of being that just because you like a couple of them. So yeah, this is just like a little rant. It's something I wanted to speak on for a long time. If you have oppository feelings to this, I totally get it. And I would still want to like hear your opinion, because I feel like what I say is not the end all be all. This is just my personal opinion and things that I've noticed that just don't add up to me. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you and have a beautiful day.